Is this thing on?
Fortunate in Seattle that bad out here, but it's not as bad as other cities. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? So we're not in Chicago, we're not in St. Louis,
That's right.
we're not in Memphis. So it's just other cities that got it way worse. We're blessed because of that, but it just when you look at the whole race in this whole United States, I just believe that it's just us. We're the reason why. We're the reason why, and we hurt ourselves the most. But we're the most flamboyant. We're the most creative. We're the most. So everybody wants to be us. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right. That's right.
And we're innovative and all that. You know what I'm saying? I love us. You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying? Everybody wants to be us, but it's like but then everybody hates us too. And we hate us. So I just believe the society is just kind of screwed up.
And I feel you too, because that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
I'm about to read this William Lynch letter. I'm feeling like I should have
Hey,
had.
let me tell you about the letter, and I'll just give it a broad thing. It's basically the letter. It was how to break up the black family, but it's basically talking about we'll take it. The mother keeps the child, and then we'll pay her, give her housing, her food stamps, as long as the man ain't in the household. So now you got the child. He's being raised without a father, but as long as the father's out of the household, we'll make sure. And that's going on to this day. So many men or black men are having children,
Yeah,
and
that's real.
and then the mother know you better go down to that welfare office and go get it and pay him on child support and get that food stamp, da 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 da. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying? And he's all screwed up because he's trying to find a job, but there ain't no job. So now he's like getting a hole in child support. He's trying to do what he can, but now you have another child. Cycle happens over and over again. That's how you break
That's
up the
right.
black family. So that's why we're the least, highest out of any race. We're the father ain't in the household.
Yeah,
Read
no,
it.
that's
Read it one day. It's basically how to break up the black family, and it is working to this day. And out of any race, we're the highest. When the father is not in the household, and you got all these young mothers all around the hood, no matter where you at, you see it every day. They're walking around with strollers, and I hate
that's it.
it. It just because
I know. I know.
the man ain't in the house, but she got the nice apartment, got a car, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But she can't work because they'll lower amount of that Section 8. So now she goes around braiding people's hair. She got to do something that's under the table,
that's
something.
it. That's
You
what.
know what I'm saying? And then she's very angry. So the man, you got the 80 black woman, you know what I'm saying? So she's very disrespectful because if she's nice to him, he's going to want to come around. So she has to be really mean to keep him away. The narrative.
No, no, yeah, I really appreciate you providing this perspective because even the black mentors that I've listened to and learned a lot from don't put it in that context. We do talk about much of the same things, the decimation of the black home and all that, but your perspective is valuable.
But I bet you a lot of people don't know about the Willie Lynch letter.
That might be a whole episode because I'm like looking at it right now and I want to read it. So you gave me
Yeah.
some homework. I appreciate you, Anthony. You gave me some homework.
He's actually from another. I guess the slave owners here was trying to do what they can, mess up the black family. So I believe he's from Spain. I believe I forgot,
Okay.
but he told them what to do. So it's the letter to the slave owners in
Okay.
America, how to do it, and it's working to this day.
So this is just a quick Wikipedia about it. It says the letter purports to be an account of a short speech given by a slave owner in which he tells other slave masters that he has discovered the secret to controlling black slaves by setting them against one another. Like
Right,
that's
and he planted that seed that was planted back then is flourishing all around this whole country.
I'm gonna unpack that, but thank you for giving me
Yeah.
that bit because it's important. So the next question I have for you is what do you believe is one of the reasons that Trump and the largely Republican Congress
I believe the reason was he saw what it was the first time with Trump.
Mm,
Then we got to see what it was with Biden. He saw what was working. It was thriving. Yeah, he has a crazy mouth, but hey, dude. Well, part of the reason I think he was a fighter. All that when he what he had to go through, the average person would have jumped off a bridge or something. All these cases, all that they tried to basically kill this guy, and he still fought and fought. And then a lot of black people saw that, and then they're like, "Hey, I've been shot at. I've been in
Right.
jail. I got a mug shot." He released so many black people out of prison when he left in 2016. Lil Wayne, we can go down the list.
Sure.
And just even that one lady that Kamala put in jail when they said that she in California, they have a law that if your child misses 10 days of school, you go to prison.
Right.
And the little girl, she had what was that? Or no, lupus or one of the little diseases. I think attacked the bones or something like that. And yeah, she still went to jail, but Trump released her. But
Oh, released her.
yeah, it's on TikTok too. She had to go to jail because I guess because of the law, if your child misses 10 days of school after 10 days, you go to prison for a year or something like that, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
But the girl had medical issues. There was a medical thing from the doctor stating this is why she's missing school,
Mm.
and she couldn't walk certain to some days she could. And I believe it was lupus or
No, you're right.
uh,
I'm looking
yeah.
at it right now. It was
Oh,
lupus.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, you got some perspective that I just didn't have. I believe that I don't have a problem taking ownership of my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I don't got a problem
Mhm.
with that. And my mistake, I think, was that I focused too much on one side of the issue and not everybody.
And that's the thing because we on the left, and I did listen to the left. I listen to Fox News because it's more right, but I do listen to the left. But all I hear on the left is just oh, snap. But on the right, all I'm hearing is we're trying to have a war that's good for everybody on the level playing. But all I hear on the left, what I'm saying, Whoopi Goldberg, it's just all this all these you got all these groups over here on the left, and they're just attacking this one. And I'm like, really? It's all these things, but I'm just like, what was so bad? What did Trump do so bad that you hate him so much?
Right.
What did you do? Because he was trying to help everybody. But then when I hear Biden or Kamala, I don't hear what she's trying to do for everybody. All I hear is, I'm going to make sure that these groups are here
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's taken care of. But still the one group, blacks.
I hear you because a lot of the criticism on the left of Trump focuses on him as an individual, as a person, right? He's a misogynist or he's a womanizer. He doesn't respect women, grab him by the pussy. He makes
Yeah.
fun of people.
He's
Like,
hip.
yeah, he's Hitler and stuff, and he wants to change things and whatnot. But yeah, so I mean, a lot of people criticize his personality and how he approaches things and what he says, really. And is it fair to say that those things don't matter when it comes to what's in your pocket at the end of the day?
I mean, everybody voted on whatever they believe. There's so many
That's
things
right.
that this election was about, you know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? And I believe this election was more on a spiritual warfare
Sure.
thing. So you got a lot of people saying, well, I don't like Trump, but he does want to keep the Christian value, which
Sure.
is abortion is one of them, the sex
Sure.
changes, all these different things. But when he's doing that, you're exiting out these 10 groups on the left now. So now you got these 10 groups that are protected by the Democrats, but you still got the one group, black people over here. And the crazy thing is, we got black people in all these different groups. In each and every one of them groups on the left.
I hear you.
Which is so crazy, there's blacks on each group, but they don't never talk about that. They just treat like all black people, no matter what group you're part of, you're still just in the black group,
I hear you.
And I don't have nothing against these groups. What I'm saying is it's not a level playing field. And I believe Trump was just trying to bring everything back how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, sure, sure. I hear
So
you. I hear you.
no matter what you believe in, we're still gonna keep morals no matter what.
Okay.
And I just believe, but it troubles me when I hear church folk, because I go to church, but church folk, because I'd say it's things like you can be Democrat and vote I mean, be Christian and vote liberal because it don't line up what you preach. But they're like, yeah, which I don't get.
Sure. Yeah. No, I hear you. That's a bigger conversation because when
Yeah,
we're talking about religion, there's, I mean, you've seen it. There's been Christian sects, Methodist or whatever, Universalist churches where they are more accepting of LGBTQ people, right?
yeah. The Methodist, yeah. I see it. I see it all. It's all on Facebook. You're right.
So
They like the flag and everything.
that's right. And so the question there, which might not be a fair question, I'm just curious if you're interested in entertaining it, is do you think the church is going in the wrong direction?
I do because Jesus, he's coming from one church. He's not coming from no denomination. He's coming from the church for no spot or wrinkle. That's what he said. Each denomination has their beliefs in this, which is not biblical. It's not biblical. I just feel like it's just a circus. Or we just gonna do what we want to do,
Right.
despite what God says,
Sure.
Bible. But then everybody's believing God loves the gay men too. But at the end of the day, sin is sin. So there's no sin greater than the other. So I'm not that we can't just keep talking about one subject when there's a million other subjects.
Right. I hear you.
That because God don't judge just that one sin. There's even the little sin. What's
Yeah.
one that's very little? The cockiness, gluttony, all them. There's all them sins. Those are sins too. I'm
Yeah.
not saying
Yeah.
all fat Christians ain't gonna make it to heaven. I'm not saying that, but
I hear you.
there's other things that we skip and we just and because that's such a controversial thing in this country. And then
I hear you.
if our USA was, we're not gonna give Africa no money because you won't let your people be homosexuals. Well, that's why Russia Africa on because we stopped
Works.
giving, we start sanctioning the whole continent because they want to let homosexuals be.
To exist.
Yeah,
I hear you.
and that's God's land, the motherland. So of course, and they're gonna stay with the moral church values. So we're like that one country that just tries to promote that, but I just feel like the church is just too quiet.
Okay. Okay.
We're gonna sleep on a lot of ideas because you know why? One thing,
You saying
money.
the church sleeps on a lot of ideas because of money?
Yes.
Or are you saying that the church is too quiet because of money?
No, the church is quiet. When I say money, is because if you offend someone, then you're gonna lose members, and so
I see it.
that's revenue.
I
That's
see.
revenue.
Sure.
You got celebrity pastors, and then you got what I'm saying. So a lot they make money off of.
Being inclusive.
If they allow certain things, then that may create a certain revenue, which is instead of speaking the truth, they'll make a dollar.
Yeah, I do.
Um,
I hear you.
money is a lot of reason why
Anything happens.
a lot of these churches are quiet or they a certain lifestyle instead of preaching against it.
Sure, sure. I hear you. I hear
Mhm.
you. Okay. So the next question I have for you is, do you feel like you did enough to affect the election in the way you wanted to see it go?
I did my part. You got over 80 million people that voted for it too, and you saw the whole country went red. I feel what
Sure.
was best for me and my family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody in my family don't agree, but one thing I do know is that we all respect each other about what it is. There's some people that were upset, but we still respect each other.
Good.
And that's the thing. Like this whole 4 years, it was all about fight Trump. But the Democrats never, the whole time that what they campaigning on, they never did it because they were all worried about what they're gonna do to Trump. So, and then the black reparations with the Ukraine. So our reparations with the Ukraine and all this other, but nothing happened in the U.S. What did we really do? Only thing I can think of is just his infrastructure plan and his inflation act or whatever. Nothing they did to make this whole country better. I just feel like it's with the shovels, but I just feel like I voted what was going to help me. My little one vote, did it make an impact? I believe so. The popular vote, yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. You know well enough that at the end of the day, at least your vote does count. So I'm really
Yeah.
glad that you know that because at the end of the day, for me, like again, I'm a proud American, despite whatever, right? Despite what
Right.
people say I should be or shouldn't be, whatever. I don't really care about that, and I'm a privileged ass American because I could say fuck you, I can do whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? And we're afforded that privilege out here, right? But at the end of the day, though, is we Americans need to know that our vote does matter. And it doesn't matter who you vote for, just fucking vote, please. And that's what breaks my heart about people who were like, oh, I'm not going to vote. I don't think my vote matters. It does. It matters at the local level. And while one vote out of 350 million is not going to do anything one way or another, 350 million one votes will do something. You got to at least, you have to value yourself and your vote. Stand by that. So the
Yeah.
last question I got for you, brother, and I appreciate your time, I really do, is what do you want to say to yourself 4 years in the future?
See myself successful. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see my kids thrive. I just want to just be great. They don't even got to be on the politic part. I just want to see everybody thriving. We're all living great and we're all happy and the city's jumping. There's jobs. There's this.
Right.
Then I don't live my life for money, but I just want to make sure that my people in my individual circle, my family, we're doing good. Once everybody sees that the black community doing good, then everybody's gonna do good. Cause then we can keep it to everybody else's success. But the black
Right.
community goes to every single race, whatever they got going on, and we contribute to them.
That's right.
I see myself just being happy, successful, living good.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. What?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, brother. I mean, born and bred here in Washington. Like, I went to New York this summer, and I got
Me too.
a ass meal, and it was cheap. I was like, this would have been like $120 in Washington
Yeah,
State.
but man, I had so much fun. I've never been in New York before, but it was like just to see so many black people races. It was just all black. What was it, Jamaica, in the Queens area, or whatever.
Okay, you
in
were
the Brooklyn area. Oh, it's
okay.
like seeing all the blacks, and then you're walking down the street, and whatever you
Yeah.
need, your hair done, you need this. It's just like,
Yeah.
wow, you don't see that in Seattle. You know what
No,
I'm
you
saying?
do not.
Because
Yeah.
I never been. It was just
Okay,
it,
so
it,
you
it,
went to the big city. You went to
well,
New York City
we stayed
proper.
we stayed in Brooklyn, but we actually what's the part where all the black people be at? That's
Queens, Brooklyn,
no,
the
the other one.
Bronx.
Yeah, the Bronx. Yeah,
Okay.
what's the Bronx? Went to the
Okay.
mall, went to Brooklyn, where that big restaurant what's that restaurant? That's where mostly all the black people were at. Like on Martin Luther King Street and all
Sure.
that right there. Yeah,
Full disclosure, I went to upstate New York. So I was up in Rochester area. That's where I was
oh,
at.
so you wasn't in the hood.
Rochester's a historically black
Oh,
community.
okay.
It is black there. But my whole point is it was so much cheaper over there. And
Oh,
as
of
soon
course,
as I
yeah.
got back to Washington, I'm like, $5 gas, like $120 meals every night type shit. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
their way of living is cheaper too, so they getting paid
Right.
lesser.
Say that.
Their rent is lesser. But
Right.
just imagine if we had Seattle income
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
we was making Seattle income and living in New York. We'll be ballers. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
That's right.
So they're actually kind of the same as us, where they're just don't got as much expenses. It just they're
Right.
getting paid lesser. It's like each economy is different in all these cities, but it's like I wish we had it like that, but the income is high,
That's
you know?
true. That's true. You're right. You're right.
So when I went out there, man, everything was cheap. The gas was cheap, and then we had to be on the underground with those trains.
Right. Yeah, them subways and shit.
Yeah, them subways. Yeah, it's crazy down there, man. We see some crazy people,
No, grungy.
but the food. Just so many. I love Seattle food, but out there, it was just different.
All right, my brother. Well, I'm gonna thank you again for your time and thank you for your perspective and thank you
Okay.
for everything you do for your family and your community. I'm closing out by saying we are all different, but we are all also the same. What matters is if we recognize that and move forward to make a better world for all of us.